Gemini rising. How you doing, Gemini? This is your reading for the Aquarius new moon that is going to happen on the 29th of January 2025. I'm recording this the day before. If you're watching this after the event, this video is going to be bringing in the energy that you're working with over the next 6 months, so you're not missing out on anything at all. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body. All of this is going to be bringing in healing, attunement, and activation codes to the messages that want to come through for you, my lovely Gemini. I just received a message from a Gemini rising, and the ascendant has now just moved into Gemini, so we're bringing in big Gemini energy for you. Now I read for the rising sign, so for those of you who do not have Gemini in the first house, look to the house it does fall in your natal chart. Look to the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes along with all the other meaning you've got going on in the sign of Gemini to the messages that want to come through. It will be as if that Gemini energy, wherever it falls in your natal chart, has now energetically moved to the first house. For example, I've got Gemini up in the 11th house, along with, and in Gemini I've got Chiron and the asteroid Pallas Athena. So I'd apply all of that meaning to what comes through in this video. Right, before I clock in fully with your personal reading, Geminis, bit of housekeeping. Firstly, tomorrow from the new moon to the Leo full moon, all readings are 50% off, and I haven't quite checked whether my website is able to do that, but I'll just reduce the prices down to 50% off. You can also email me directly if you want to take me up on that and pay by PayPal. So we got the new lunar year, so I want to give back, I want to nourish by reducing those prices. It is the year of the wood snake. It's a numerology year 9. It's also the cross-quarter fire festival of Imbolc. There's 4 every year, and they're the midpoint between the solstices and the equinoxes. I break down all of this in part 1 of the 2-part series of the collective reading for the Aquarius new moon. So if you wanted more information on that, pause this video, go watch that. Part 2 is where I break down the astrology of the exact moment of the new moon in way more detail, right? Also brought in some big themes, got a big channeled message that I then broke down, pulled collective tarot again, right? So the more if you feel so inclined to get more information, go watch that and then come watch this, because I'm not going to be talking too much astrology. I'm going to be focusing predominantly on the houses that this is showing up in for you, my loves. Right. Is that everything? Oh, second bit of housekeeping. I have set up a separate YouTube channel. It's called Quantum Vibe Tarot. The link is on the homepage and also in the description box. It's more short transmissions, like activation codes. I'm on camera, which is wild to me still. They're kind of timeless, although I will be doing one on the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, of how, bringing in the transmission and the activation of us working with that energy at the most highest, most integrated frequency. I use loads of decks. It's lots of channeling coming through. There's a speed to it. It's not fixed so much in the astrology. I'm not going too much into all the cards, and yeah, it's a lot more playful, a lot more creative over there. So if you feel so inclined, go check that out. Now let's get on with your reading, my loves. So new moon in the sign of Aquarius. This is the first new moon since the nodes changed signs, which is significant because the nodes represent where eclipses are, which involve lunations, the sun and the moon. So that Cancer full moon was the first full moon, and now we've got the Aquarius new moon coming through. This new moon, where is this happening for you? This is over in your 9th house of perspectives, right? That's the key word for the 9th house, the house of the gods. Your morals, your ethics, your philosophies, your connection to book, religion, source, nature, science. How do you perceive and map yourself out in the world, in these matrices that are bigger than you, that you know you're a part of? What's the hope and dream of how your perspective will unfold and change? how to apply your perspectives into the day-to-day. It's about mastering of something, right? The elevation of a learning process, whatever that is for you, as well as teaching and sharing perspectives. We are not here to change people's minds. That's entirely up to them. It's also about going and living somewhere unfamiliar to you for a longish period of time in order to what? Broaden your perspective. So big perspective energy, new intentions around this is elevating those perspectives, being able to walk your talk. If you have the stirrings to, you know, evolve, say you've learned something new, you did a course and now you want to take it to the next level, this is a great new moon to set that intention around, as well as if you want to go and live somewhere. And now that doesn't have to be a foreign country, although it's very much linked into that, because obviously that's the more not extreme but more obvious shift of perspectives that we can learn and grow from. But it can just be going and living in an environment that you haven't done before and you're learning a lot from it. Now the core theme of this new moon is activation of we're getting activation of a universal truth within us. Right, this is because the moon is conjunct Mercury and Pluto. Pluto, you know, I break down all of this meaning over in the collective reading, so I'm just going to give you sort of like the highest vibrational frequency of this, although it can highlight power distortions. But Pluto is all about neutrality, right? The honoring of the cycle of life, death and rebirth. And when we are in that state of neutrality, we connect to our root-id power in a way that not only serves us, but the collective. Rather than trying to distort everyone and control what everybody else is perceiving. That could be a theme that may pop up over the next 6 months for you to step away from. Remember, we are not here to change other people's minds. That is up to them. So Mercury, the messenger of the gods, who does very well in air signs, because obviously that's about communication, thoughts, perceptions, interactions, very social air signs are. And so this is Mercury's getting a activation from Pluto that is helping you connect to the universal truth of your root-id power. It's Aquarius is a collective air sign. It is about those sort of higher principles, right, that we can then apply to the little things. I talk about Hermeticism and the Tao in the collective reading as well. So Mercury is bringing to the surface from the deep-rooted power within you that has always been there, has just been distorted, is bringing that to the surface and infusing this into this new moon. So we're going to see this unfold over the next 6 months. So that's what I'm doing with the oracle cards. I'm doing two oracle cards to sort of do the big reveal of what is this universal truth that is being brought to the surface here, right? This elevated perspective that is to do with your truth and not the conditioning of the outside world. Now, that's the major energy going on. Here in the UK, so this is only going to be relevant to some of you, the ascendant of the moon is actually in Gemini. So all of this, everything I'm going to talk about in this reading is imprinted. It's another layer on top of everybody else's natal chart who are in this time zone of the bigger intention. So your Gemini energy is acting as a vessel. Oh, no, I've already shuffled those. Okay, you're getting a bonus one. It's acting as sort of a vessel for the bigger understanding here in the UK. Now, the major aspect that this moon is making, and this is the only other aspect I'm going to talk about, there's others going on, which I bring into the collective reading, is that this new moon is trine Jupiter over in your sign, Gemini. And so this is a really aligned energy of the embodied wisdom that you are going to be able to implement in your actions and your deeds, your embodiment of self, of the first house. It's the lens in which you move through the world, right? It is your body, your character, your sense of self, and often how other people see you. So you're embarking on an unfoldment of a sort of upgrade around your perspectives and your capacity to implement it, right? And find that wisdom. Now, Jupiter is retrograde at the time of this moon. It will go direct on the 4th of February. So we got this very questioning Jupiter, right? Jupiter retrograde helps us go inward, recalibrate our inner world to the truth of our own abundance, to the truth of our own wisdom. It means that we question things. And that is great for the evolution of our perspectives. So it's allowing you to question the old paradigms and release them. Now, what I like about this is that Aquarius is fixed energy, right? It can be very stubborn in its perspectives, right? It can not want to shift and change. But Gemini, you are mutable in nature. You adapt and change and go with the flow of it all. And so that Jupiter energy is really helping, one, be able to shift and change into this new paradigm, and also to connect new neural pathways that is allowing for, when it then goes direct, to see this abundant nature, see this wisdom out in the world, right? So you may just find you're recalibrating. It's going to be a split between the internal recalibration of the upgrade that's coming in, of the activation, because that retrograde is imprinted for the next 6 months. But Jupiter's going to be direct, and it's not going to retrograde in Gemini again. So you're going to see you working this out, figuring this out in the actions that you take, in this sense of faith that you have of walking your path. And that is honoring both the experimentation and the truth that will emerge from that. Itu ala dianima, oshalema dianimo tuela, dianima duela, dishanima etinimo tuela. So you've got this real, it's trining the moon, and a trine is an aspect of Jupiter. So this integration, this bringing together of parts in order to elevate and expand, get a higher perspective, get a sense of wisdom, a sense of knowing, and with that brings a deep rooted confidence that's very stable, right? That allows more abundance and opportunities, and feeling good about the world, right? The 9th house can take a bashing because of everything that's going on in the world, and if we have certain perspectives of how things should unfold, and we're met with conflict out in the world, we're met with difficulty and challenges, one, holding on to the grief of everything that's going on, and two, having those perspectives be diminished because we're not seeing it show up in the same way. What's going on this year, I cannot express enough. The more that you do your soul's journey, right, the more that you walk your soul's path, which is you, by the way, just not with the conditioning. The work we do this year is going to have such a payoff. It's going to be huge. So I just felt called to sort of bring this to the table for everybody, of like, step up to the plate this year. It will be worth it. It will be worth it. And you've got this very powerful transit here. Okay, you got a bonus card. A very powerful transit to help you be confident walking your path, right? Putting that perspective into the way that you act without it being diminished by what's going on in the outside world. Now, very quickly, Saturn traditionally rules Aquarius, which is what I work with from the Hellenistic principles over 2,000 years ago. Saturn is in Pisces, in your 10th house of your life purpose, career, visibility, reputation, how the big outside world sees you. So Saturn is influencing this, right? Getting these perspectives, this upgrade of how you map yourself out in the world in alignment with your path, right? With your career. So often our perspectives govern how we move, how we take action. And so this is giving you a clarity of perspective to apply to your path, to apply to your career that's unique to you. Saturn is about integrity, commitment, responsibility, and legacy energy. Pisces, traditionally ruled by Jupiter, right? Jupiter over in the 1st house. So Jupiter's influencing Saturn, that's influencing this moon. And so we've got double down on the Jupiterian energy. And this is this inner wisdom, right? This inner knowing, this deep inner knowing, which is Jupiter retrograde is all about, especially in the 1st house, of how to embody yourself, is an alignment with that path, is an alignment with the activation of this perspective, right? There's really giving you the strength to be able to walk your talk. Jupiter in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. Where's Mercury? Over in Aquarius. So again, that's feedback looping of it's all going back to the moon, back to this download around your path and your embodiment of it, right? So there's a feedback loop between Aquarius, Pisces, and Gemini. This is happening on a Wednesday. It's Mercury's day, right? Big download. Right, let's get into it. Ooh, okay. I'm going to read them in the order that they came out. So, Gemini. Okay, so the reason why there was a delay in getting these videos out is because of the amount of energy that wanted to come through, transmissions that wanted to come through with the Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node transit. As a Gemini, if you're tapping into the Gemini energy, I cannot recommend it enough. It's so loud, that energy of that transit. It's one of the biggest frequencies for us to work with this year and next. The astrology this year and next year are wild. Not in our lifetime, not in many, 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 many lifetimes. That these are happening in your angular houses if you've got a mutable rising sign. Right, they're squaring your Gemini energy. Your Gemini energy is being impacted by this nodal transit. So I really do recommend going and watch it. It's a lot of content and there's lots of good stuff in all of it. I say that as objectively as I possibly can. That I would very much recommend going and watching all of that transit, my loves. Especially as you're going to be going through, it's just the South Node in Virgo is manifesting in your sign, Gemini. So it is about releasing and letting go of ideas of how you embody yourself, of how you move through the world, your sense of self. You're refining it. You're getting back to the truth of it all. But it can feel a little bit discombobulating because you might be expecting certain things to manifest, but that South Node really does call you to go inward. It tends to sort of, it's a retracting energy, right? So you can then condense what's left. Cancer's just gone through it and you can just feel a bit disconnected of yourself to the outside world, and just trust in the process. But anyway, go check out that series because we're focusing on the new moon. Why are you not getting into focus? Why are you focusing on that crystal? No one said to do that. What is going on? This doesn't usually happen. Okay, maybe they want this up here. This was a gift for me at Christmas. I think it's Aventine. I'm going to hold that here because that obviously needed to be in the picture. That's never done that before. Emergence. The frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. I love that, getting away, as you know, that sort of the distortions the ninth house can have around our perspectives, of getting back to the truth of the innocence and joy and abundance of your life, right? Rather than the grief and the pain of everything that's going on in the world, right? And how can you even find that innocence and joy when you're aware of all the bigger pictures? But this is what it's asking you to do. This is what's coming through. Emergence can be described as the process of coming into being, the arising of something that wasn't there before. When referring to personal development, although I do believe everything was already inherently within us, but it may feel very fresh and very new and like, whoa, what is this? When referring to a personal development and growth, the emergence of a grander expression of ourselves is often a result of intensive inner work and deep release, right? Very summing up that South Node in Virgo in your sign, Jupiter being retrograde. In order for real personal growth to happen, we have to be willing to let go of existing belief systems, frameworks, and labels that define and limit us. Recognizing potential can take us on an exciting inner journey of discovery and integration. And also summing up of me, like, the work that we do this year, whoa, worth it. So totally worth it. I know we're probably all exhausted of like, I thought I've done the next level. Get into it. Enjoy the ride. Everything I'm saying, I say to myself. I'm being very hardcore with myself at the moment. From the place of openness and discernment, we can truly unfold and emerge as a new human being. This is so in alignment with the Jupiter frequency in your first house of self. Oh, Fina! The deep and rich blue at the core of this activation represents the drive for clear expression. The purple signifies the insights that come directly from our connection to Source. That's the North Node over in Pisces right now, and that are now available to be expressed. And the yellows and oranges indicate the creativity and power with which we can do so. Utu fala dianima ena dishania dishanimo ichanimo toela di tu fala dianimo dum dishinimo dushani. Next up we have Diana. Diania dushini dana muitoni. Focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Diana is the Roman moon goddess of the hunt. She is also known as Artemis in Greek mythology, where she had similar attributes. She's often depicted with wild animals around her, and as she is associated with the moon, she connects deeply with the wild beasts that come out at night. She's often seen holding a bow and a quiver of arrows, which signifies her ability to help us focus on a vision. She also helps us tune into our intuitive side so that we can listen to the wisdom that will guide us towards our goal. In particular, she encourages women to move into their true power and promotes equality for all souls. I would say we have the feminine and masculine within all of us, that is not gender specific. It is simply an awakening of that feminine principle. Move forwards with unwavering faith, knowing that the universe is supporting you. Diana is helping you awaken your divine ability to manifest what you deserve. Any fear is only a reminder of whatever you are working on or through is an important issue for your growth. Your focus is strong now and will be, that's with the Pluto energy, will be particularly powerful at the full moon. So we'll link that into the full moon in Leo, which is your ability to communicate this download. You do it and put it into practice in your day-to-day. You may be aware of the night owl tendencies. This is because your angels and guides are sending you important messages that you may be missing during the day due to a busy schedule. Set some time aside to do a deep meditation to receive the guidance, right? That's a great bit of wisdom there to help you apply that. Right, you got a bonus card, my loves, and we have Miracle. Again, right? Universe is supporting you. The Pisces and Virgo energy is infiltrating everything at the moment. It's unavoidable. The frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as a part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. This is the perspective, guys. A miracle can be described as an extraordinary event or an occurrence in our everyday reality that cannot be explained within our existing paradigm or belief system, and is, therefore, attributed to a higher or supernatural cause. Our belief in this possibility of miracles is closely connected to our belief in the divine itself, and with that belief, our trust in the unlimited possibilities the universe can provide. In these changing times, in the new energy, multidimensionality is rapidly saturating almost all areas of our lives and being. There is much we do not understand and cannot explain within our current way of thinking. When we relax and accept that we are in an era of many mysteries yet to be revealed, we can start living our lives with the expectation that miracles and benevolent change can happen in any moment. In the miracle activation, the colour purple indicates the deep connection to the divine or source. The yellow refers to our sense of self, as we realise that we are spiritual beings in a corporeal body, an expression of the divine. There are 9 light sources around a number that stands for the completion. We are in a year 9, Itala, and indicates the ultimate realisation that we are one with Source. That's that big Pisces energy. And Saturn, who's in Pisces, who's been influencing by the North Node, by Neptune, funneling into your perspectives, right? You know, Aquarius can be kind of very rational, a bit more scientific in its energy. And so I love this miracle energy infusing into your perspective. Right, tarot, the challenge. So this is the challenge that may occur that you got to work through to help bring this in. We got the 5 of Wands. So this is that conflict energy, right? This is about lots of different ideas, lots of perspectives. There's movement, there's no momentum. So it's like, you've got the ideas. Are they coming through? Are you able to put them into practice? Walk your talk with Jupiter over in your first house of embodiment, right? So that may be procrastination of things you're not quite having the space. There isn't a clarity and a through line of energy that's helping you bring things into manifestation of your perspectives in the way that you walk your talk, right? And really make it integrated into your instincts, right? This is fire of instincts. There's also the conflict out in the world, right? All of that drama, all of that chaos that's kind of stopping you from getting into this space, right? The emergence of this childlike joy, right? The focused intention of what was it say? Set your heights, think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. And that is blending into miracles. The child doesn't know about all the, the potential possibilities of things going wrong, right? And so as we age, we get jaded. And this can very much bring this in, especially as you add on all of the drama going on in the world, where you're like, well, I've got my perspectives, but I'm not seeing them manifest. What I'm seeing is conflict, right? So one, you're in a conflict, right, around implementing those perspectives, the outward conflict of the world influencing your perspectives, as well as perhaps when you're communicating your perspectives, you come across some conflict, right? And other people have got other ideas and they want to go their own way, and there may be some frustration there, or you're not able to create space for you to bring your perspectives to the table, right? All of this just cut the deck to get a clarifier. This is the challenge, right, of thinking that this is always so, right? Thinking that there's always drama, always frustration. There isn't flow, there isn't abundance, there isn't possibilities. So to work with this energy, we've got the 4 of Wands. This is about celebrating the work that you've done, right? This is about milestones in your life. And for a clarifier for this, right, it is, rather than being so, say you shame yourself, like, you got a habit that you want to apply, a certain perspective you want to apply, but you keep falling back into the spirals, you keep falling back into the 5 of Pentacles. This card, 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles is scarcity, right? So this card wants you to acknowledge the journey of all the hard work, all the stuff that you've done, and celebrate all of the little things of how you're seeing these perspectives start to show up, right? That you've done 3 days of applying them, and you're going to celebrate it. You're going to feel really good about it, right? This is also acknowledging as a perspective of it, it does take work to put these things into practice. It's letting you know that there's some recalibration here of old perspectives that require that daily practice. Because for me, this is linked into the harvest, right? And the work that we do in order to get the harvest to come in. But they are also hinting at, there's going to be a big shift and a big away from that 5 of Pentacles, where you're going to really feel cause to celebrate in the world, right? They're hanging out with other people, they're celebrating, they feel the abundance, they feel the joy. And this is the mindset to focus on, right? Of that collaboration of the world working well together and bringing in abundance rather than seeing the conflict. And you do that for your own life as well. Oh, I forgot you got a bonus card. So we've got the 9 of Swords, the 5 of Cups in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles. So this is anxiety, fear, worry, regret about the past, worry about the future, adrenaline, cortisol running through you, so you cannot be present. The worry about the world, the worry of do you even have a perspective, right? All of those things. This is something that you want to understand about yourself, because it's shown in the upright. So it's letting you know that that's around, but they want you to understand it, right? And allow yourself to objectively look at that and realize how much of that is irrelevant, right? That you don't need to hold on to this doom and gloom of it all, and then how that infiltrates the rest of how you move through the world, right? We're getting a bit delusional with that North Node in Pisces in the best possible way. It's come with the 5 of Cups in reverse. Now, this is the grief card, right? Of holding on to the pain, the suffering of it all. And it's come in reverse. So they're letting you know, one, to look at this because it's not in reverse, and then embody this, right? Try and do a visualization, a meditation, where you no longer have the grief in your body. In that process, you may release a lot of the grief. That it's allowing for your emotional body to engage in this miracle perspective away from a hyper hamster on the wheel brain, right? Of this is what's happened in the past. These are the worries of the future. We're getting out of that, right? That's allowing you to get into miracle land, where this, both of these in the upright don't expect miracles, right? They expect the same thing over and over again. So one, it's not about focusing on the grief. For me, it's very much about focusing on the release of that and what comes after that, of letting go of being basically holding the world on your shoulders like Atlas, right? The responsibility of it all that diminishes your own personal experience. You're here to cultivate miracle energy that will then serve the collective. Knight of Pentacles. Put it into practice day to day. Take your time. It's going to be worth it, right? This is about the acknowledgement of showing up every day to step out of these, right? And really know that the habitual habits, right? That's the Jupiter over in your first house, of being able to have the wisdom to be able to do that at the time. You've got great frequencies around you to be able to implement it. But it is saying this is the daily practice, and also start observing your reality, not anybody else's, not what's going on in the outside world. And you're going to be figuring out what the truth of your perspective is and putting it into practice, right? It's not about the collective, it's about you. The more you cultivate your own sovereign frequency, the more that then is available to everybody else, and that power and that awe of existence, right? Remember the childlike energy, very much like the Fool. 3 of Pentacles, right? So this figure always knew what moved them in life, but it was unconventional. And their family and friends said, hey, maybe go down a more conventional route of how you walk your path. And this figure was like, thanks for the advice, but no, I'm going to go do me, right? And because they did that, they embodied this sense of mastery of self, right at their root, at their core. And they then drew towards them others who have different skills, different talents, to then create something beautiful and long lasting. Now, it's about mastery of self and collaboration. So you walking your unique path without the fear that your perspectives are going to block out other people, block out situations, block out scenarios. It's not that, it's the opposite of that. And because you're sort of stepping into your power of walking your own perspective, right, and mastering that, you're going to draw towards you others who have a similar frequency. They might not agree with you on everything, but there's going to be a frequency of that mastery of self, and you're going to collaborate and come together and build something beautiful. Whether that is literal in the 3D or it's other aspects of perspectives of self that have been blocked from you, that they're all now, all these different perspectives within yourself are working together to build a vessel that is going to last, right? Your first house. Oof, love it, Gemini. Right at the bottom of the deck, root energy of this new moon, Ace of Wands. Powerful stuff, right? This is your instincts getting a renewal, right? So your perspective is shifting. So your instincts are going to be in alignment with those perspectives. This is this sort of the ownership of the self energy. Very fertile, very passionate, very courageous. You're going to have a lot of energy, right? When you do the work, do the inner work, be in awareness of the real truth of self, right? Try and not hide from that. And put it into practice. Dianimo, ialama, dianima, dianima. I'm just seeing someone sort of skipping about the world. You know, ito fala dianima. Without, now don't get it twisted that it's like ignoring the grief and the pain of the world, right? And being really self-centered and having the best time. No, we're letting go of that because we're making it all about us. You know, when we sacrifice our own joy because of the world. Itala, dialemo, duela, dianima. Go about and live your life. And live it proudly and live it firmly. With the open awe of existence. With the joy-like energy of a child. With the total belief and faith in miracles. Your life will change. Itoela, dialemo, dofala, diatomina. Right, I'm going to leave it there, my lovely Geminis. That felt very powerful. Okay, I'm just going to quickly cut the deck and put this card back, and we're going to see what's there. We've got Bridget, inner strength, move back to wholeness, recognize you have the power on the money. For the miracle card, we have compassion. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world, right? Again, that's just kind of summed up what I was talking about of the more you operate on this frequency and hold that, as I say, that deepest empathy for everything that's going on, the more your frequency of this big miracle vibe is going to spread to the world. For emergence, belief, perspective. The frequency of belief supports our senses of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. Well, my loves, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, hit that like button, leave a comment. I love to hear from you. Remember, from the new moon to the full moon in Leo, 50% off all readings. Gemini, be good to yourselves, be good to those around you. Safe travels and be well until we meet again.